how did I try to assist the Palm Springs Police Department in bringing any of the suspects to justice? Well, I initially filed the rape report, and since I knew Stephen, and I knew the inner workings of his drug business, I copied his online ad in the DMV frame that shows that he advertises that he's a drug dealer and sells methamphetamine and THC. I enlisted the help of my partner, Christopher Monte, and together he and I signed up on May 6th to do undercover informant work for the Palm Springs Police Department with Sergeant Brian Anderson. We went in, and in an interview room, Christopher signed documents that would allow him to be an informant, and I was participating in that with him. We went and did the controlled buy. We didn't do the buy, but we saw the drugs there and told the officer, Sergeant Brian Anderson, that the drugs were at the home. And the sergeant decided he didn't want to do the buy for whatever reason, which was very strange to us. I also, as you'll see, tried to provide the Palm Springs Police Department with the name and address of Stephen's supplier, who deals in major amounts of methamphetamine. We're talking pounds of methamphetamine, and GHB, and ecstasy, and heroin, and everything else. And the Palm Springs Police Department flatly refused that information. I sent probably 20 emails this week to the Palm Springs Police Department. I notified the DEA. I notified the FBI. I notified everybody I could think of to try to bring this rapist to justice. Now, what I want people to know is this individual, along with his friends who did this, probably have upwards of 200, 300 victims in the Palm Springs area that they have knocked out with GHB, rape, and disease. And it is a public health hazard to have somebody running around that does something like this. The crime of rape is an act of violence. And it doesn't matter if you're a gay male, if you're a straight woman, if you're 2 men, 2 women, anybody. It's an act of violence. And when there is another factor of a disease being brought into it, and you're being intentionally infected with the disease, it is an even further heinous crime. There is a lack of sensitivity at the Palm Springs Police Department towards homosexual community. There is predominantly gay and lesbian community in the Palm Springs area, and I was treated as though, because I wasn't heterosexual, that the crime of male-on-male rape wasn't a crime. It was something that I wanted, or that it was something that was part of the lifestyle. And that's not the case. The Palm Springs Police Department lacks sensitivity to this issue. And my intention with this entire investigation is to bring about a change, to bring about an awareness in the community that this is happening. And, statistically, if you look in the Palm Springs area, there is a much higher rate of HIV infection, syphilis infection, hepatitis C infection, and it could very well be because of this group of individuals that is going around knocking innocent victims out with this date rape drug and diseasing them on purpose. It is further exacerbated by the fact that there's a police department that treats this sort of crime as part of an ultimate lifestyle, where drugs and casual sex breed this sort of behavior. In my case, that's not the point. The point is that I wasn't an intravenous drug user. I wasn't involved in casual sex at the time. I didn't have unprotected, unsafe sex. And in order for me to have contracted hepatitis C, which is what I eventually got, a deadly disease, at the hands of a rapist, and have the kind of evidence that I had, and not have an investigation go forward until the DNA was brought back a year and 2 months later is criminal on a lot of levels. Not just because the suspects did what they did, but the Palm Springs Police Department didn't do any of the things they were supposed to do. And it is further exacerbated by the fact that as a victim, it's hard enough to speak out against rape. And it's hard enough to say, this is something that happened. But when you can't even be protected by a police department that knows that the person that did this is a drug user, and knows that the person that did this is on probation, could be checked, and knows that there's an individual that is trying to help them to bring someone to justice. The crime is a crime against everyone. The community at large in Palm Springs needs to be told, and I have single-handedly, maybe with the help of a friend or two, told countless people about what's going on. And my desire is for the Police Complaint Center to assist me in getting the word out to people. I'm planning on a full media campaign and a full range of interviews and lectures and whatever I can do to help the community. What I would like to do is bring this story to whoever can hear it and to find help for myself and the other victims of this crime. It was to help the ACLU try to find answers as to why the investigation was slowed down, as to why the interview of Kelly Q and the interview with Detective Browning and others were as harsh as they were. At one point, the police department even came in, or had to come in and sit in an interview room where they went over a list of phone calls that I had made to them, trying to tell them what was going on. It told me that I was harassing the police department, and that even though I had a temporary restraining order, and that there was an arrest warrant for Stephen's arrest, that I couldn't call them. How does an innocent victim of a crime rely on the police department that is telling you, don't call us when you need help? The community needs to know that when you call for the police, they're going to be there for the victim, not be there for the criminal. And at this point, it's still up in the air as to whether or not anything is being done to stop what's happening in Palm Springs.